Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where we have to discuss the arrival of Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. And personally, I am quite excited, and in today's video we are going to be talking about why is there excitement right now surrounding the Rashford signing? What is he going to bring to the club? Why are we happy that we've got him? What are the terms really about this signing? But along with that as well, we are going to be talking about where he fits in. What exactly does Hansi Flick see as Rashford's role, and what could this mean for our season? All of the questions that you may have, they're going to be answered. So get ready and let's do this. Because indeed, guys, the deal is done. Marcus Rashford will become a Barcelona player this summer, and he will sign on a loan deal at the club. And there will be in that deal an option to buy. As we've stressed here, it's very, very important that wasn't an obligation. That's what Barca have been pushing for this entire time. They did not want to be obligated to do anything. They want to see how it goes. They want to see this here as a low-risk deal, a free hit basically. Let's get Rashford in, let's give him an opportunity, let's see what he's got, and we'll evaluate it at the end of the season. It remains to be seen at this point exactly what the buy option will be. There are rumours about 35 million euros. That for me would be an attainable transfer fee. You know, if things went well, if things went very well, that would be more than possible for Barca. But like I say, the aim is to get him out on the field, get him playing in a Barca shirt, and then we will see. But of course, guys, as we have also discussed, it was always going to be about wages, though. When you're talking about a loan deal, wages for Barca, and especially given our registration issues, they were always going to be the most important thing, and particularly given Rashford's massive wages at Manchester United. Do not forget, he earns around 350,000 a week at Man United, which works out at around 18 million per year. And by the way, I'm talking right now in pounds. In pounds, you know, that's absolutely massive money. And what we've seen now is, in order to join Barca, Rashford has already made a big sacrifice on those wages. He has agreed to a substantial pay cut. And I've got to say, some of the media here in the UK, they don't want to mention that. They don't want to bring up the fact that Rashford here, he's agreed to earn a lot less. He's agreed here to take a pay cut, which also suits Man United because they also won't pay him anything. Barca will cover all of his new wages, which will be slashed from that original deal, because at Barca, Rashford will be earning reportedly 10 million euros gross salary, which equates there to around 5 million net. So it is there a salary that Barca are willing to pay. They are very, very happy there to see the commitment from Rashford, and not only in terms of the wages too, but in terms of that registration. He is not putting pressure on the club. He is not asked here for any guarantees. You know, other players did, reportedly Luis Diaz, definitely Nico Williams. They all wanted guarantees about their registration. Right now, Rashford is saying, I trust you. I want to come. I will back the club. I will be patient. And Barca also very much value that. But it's not only that too, because it's worth pointing out here that Barca feel as though Rashford could be quite a clever addition economically, particularly there when it comes to marketing, because Barca here signing an Englishman, I mean, it's rare, especially coming from somebody here who lives in the UK. It's not something that we usually see, a British player heading to Barca. It is exciting, and I think Barca here signing an Englishman for the first time since Gary Lineker way back in 1986. And I've got to say, it's nice to see Gary Lineker really embracing here the Rashford move. You know, he posted a nice photo there of the two of them on Instagram, and I think it's just exciting to think of what this could mean. You know, Barca feel it could be a marketing bonus. They're tapping into different markets, gaining more and more exposure and prominence in the footballing world, and they are more than happy here that Rashford, he is very keen on coming. But okay, guys, we do have to discuss the elephant in the room, because a lot of people will be saying, well, if Barca are so thrilled to get their hands on Rashford here, if they've been so keen to do a deal for him, well, why did Man United want rid of him then? Why were they so desperate? And remember, we're talking about a club in Man United who were struggling towards the bottom of the league in the Premier League last season. That is not good. Why did they not want him? Well, let's start with Ruben Amorim. He desperately wanted, it seems to me, to stamp his authority on this Man United team. And I think he did use at times Rashford as a bit of a scapegoat. I mean, he didn't feel as though he was really aligning with what he wanted from the team. But I would just argue, with the way things are at Man United these days, What do they want? What are they looking for here that maybe Rashford did not align with? I would like to know exactly what their plan is. But look, at the end of the day, guys, let's be honest here. It's pretty much down to money. They handed Rashford an absolutely ridiculous contract, let's be honest here. Which, hey, with Bartomeu as our previous president, we get that, United. We really do. We can absolutely relate to that. We know what it's like to hand out stupid deals. It comes back to hurt you in pretty devastating ways. So there was a feeling there that, yeah, Rashford, he was on too much money at United. They wanted to get him out. I don't think he felt as motivated, as sort of driven and focused maybe on the task in hand that he once was at the club. And there was always talk, let me just say this, there was always talk in England, and especially in the English media, of course, about his life outside the field. When can we be honest here? They're talking about his lack of focus, what he's doing off the pitch. A lot of what Marcus Rashford has done outside of the field has been phenomenal. It should be applauded what this man has done here for charity, for children. These things should absolutely not be being scrutinised by the media. But hey, welcome to England. But indeed, guys, that's my next point. That is my next port of call here, because I would just say for most players who join Barca, the one thing that you're really plunged into as a Barcelona player, it's about the pressure. It's about the intense media speculation that surrounds you every minute of the day. Everything that you do in a Barca shirt, and without it too, away from the field, it comes under a microscope. And for so many players, that is huge. That is something that's very, very difficult to come to terms with, and especially here in a loan deal, you might not get used to that during your time at the club. But what I would say with Rashford is he has already experienced so much of that at Manchester United. Now, I don't think it's exactly the same. I think with Barca, it is even more intense. It's probably another level entirely. But we have seen at Man United how many players go there and they do just crumble. And a lot of that is down to what happens at the club. The speculation, the pressure, the media attention. There is so much emphasis here on Man United in the Premier League, both on and off the field. And like I say, Rashford arrives with that experience. Rashford arrives having already been in that kind of environment, and I think that will definitely help him just to acclimatise here to Barcelona. However, guys, when you are talking here about what the signing of Rashford could mean for Barca, why are we as fans here excited about him? A lot of people a few months ago, they probably wouldn't have expected to feel the way they do about Barca signing Rashford. But at the end of the day, I think we can all resonate here with a bit of a redemption story, with a bit of a player coming in and just having that fire within them, having that motivation to prove everybody wrong who's doubted them. And I think you see that here with Marcus Rashford. He arrives at Barca unbelievably motivated. And these are some of my favourite signings here. Players who come with that ambition, with that drive, with that feeling of they want to be here. They want to show people. Think about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was booted out of Arsenal. Arteta didn't even want to look at him. He arrived at Barca and he was extraordinary. He was absolutely incredible. Couldn't have been better on the field. Was an absolutely incredible person in the dressing room. We as fans, we loved him. And I just think right here with Rashford, this is a guy who's got so many different points to prove. There's people at Man United that have written him off. There's people like Ruben Amorim who really wanted him out. Man United fans as well haven't always been behind him either. And especially, like I say, the British media. You want to get one over on them for sure. And don't forget, guys, as if all of that wasn't already enough, as if Rashford didn't already have enough motivation as it is, we are also entering a World Cup year. This is somebody who is desperately fighting to be in the England team next summer. He is going to be working tirelessly every day to prove people wrong, to show what he can do, to perform at a right, and ultimately, he wants to stay in a Barca shirt. He doesn't just want to be here, doesn't just want to play here, doesn't just want to be here for a season. He would love to stay here, and for that, he's got to work. He's got to perform, and he will be motivated to do that. But okay, guys, we do have to talk about specifically where Rashford will fit in. What kind of signing is he? What kind of player is he? What kind of option will he give us? And can I first of all start by saying, I think a lot of the reason why so many of us Barcelona fans are actually quite happy, quite content with this deal is, first of all, we didn't want to spend enormous money on somebody who would come in and ultimately just demand to be a starter, because of what we paid for them. I just think, look at what we did last season under Hansi Flick. Our attack was brilliant. You know, we've got fantastic attacking players there. We've got so many good combinations. We didn't want to rip that up for a big, shiny, fancy, new, expensive signing and then just have to find a way to shoehorn them into the team. You know, nobody wanted that here. We're trying to build something. What we needed was more depth, more quality, more options for Hansi Flick. And anybody coming in here, they've got to work hard. They've got to buy into what we're doing, and nothing should be handed out. So I'm happy here that we've got a player who will have to work hard, who knows he has to work hard. He's prepared to do that in order to find a way into this team. His transfer fee isn't going to get him there. He is not going to be put in this team because of money, and that is absolutely essential. Because can I just say, Flick has wanted Rashford now. He really has. For several months. He wanted him even back in the January transfer window. And don't think here this is a random signing. Don't think here we just plucked this out of somewhere. Flick wants this guy. Flick has spoken to Rashford already. This is a calculated signing. And I think Flick actually, he's demanded this signing. Because let's be honest, since Flick has arrived at the club, he hasn't actually asked for anything. He hasn't actually demanded anything of the club. He's always said, look, I'm going to work with what I've got. I understand the club's financial position. I understand the situation that we're in. I'm going to try and get the best out of what we have. But there have been rumours over the past few days that Flick basically went to the Barça board, went to Deco and said, I need a winger. Get me a left winger. I'm not asking for the world. I'm not asking here for millions and millions to be spent. But that's what I need. I need a left winger this summer. Please, please get me one. And you can see why he likes Rashford, the kind of player that he is there. He adds enormous pace to this team, which is absolutely perfect for counter-attacking situation. And you think about Barca under Hansi Flick, we do have more space. You know, games open up, don't they? There's times there where we really do have space to exploit in behind defences. You're thinking about it here, it could be from the start of a game. It could be there about a combination with somebody like Alejandro Balde. I mean, that would be absolutely incredible. The two of those on the left-hand side there, the pace. That should be absolutely illegal. That's incredible stuff. But it's not just about from the start. It's about the way that you can change a game as a game goes on, as you need different options. Rashford could provide something very, very special and unique coming off the bench. And can I also just add here, the reason why Flick likes him too, he can play as a number 9. Now, Rashford has openly admitted recently he's getting more and more and more comfortable in that area. It's more comfortable than he's ever felt in his career as the 9, and he can score goals. That's the really exciting thing about him. He's somebody who can definitely chip in. He can definitely contribute. And I'd look at somebody last season who really helped in that regard. Ferran Torres, you know, players who come up with key goals at key moments there, who can chip in and maybe won't always be starting, maybe won't always be the first name on the team sheet, but boy, can you help. Boy, can you add to the quality depth in the squad. And that's the kind of role that I see here for Marcus Rashford. And I think about him not so long ago, you know, the 2022-23 season, he was incredible in front of goal. He was scoring goals for fun in that season. He couldn't stop scoring. Even against us in the Europa League, we're all talking about him. We were all wary of the threat that he posed, that he did score against us at the Camp Nou. In the Europa League, I don't want to keep saying the Europa League, but it happened. It was real. And Rashford, he can score goals. He can be an asset for this team. He can give Hansi Flick options that he didn't have last season. And I just think that's so important here. In such an important season for Barca, for Hansi Flick, to have a player like this who arrives for literally nothing. You know, we're not taking a risk on him. Yeah, we've got to take care of the wages, a few million out of our pocket. But in general here, there is very, very low risk in this deal. And if he can help us, if he can contribute, if he can chip in, if he can give us that extra option, it is massive, massive reward for Barca. So I personally, guys, I am happy that we've taken on this deal. I can understand if people are sceptical. I think Rashford will need to work hard. I think he will need to convince some people. And that's highly understandable at a club like Barca. But I do think he can do it. And I would much rather, much rather go down this road than be spending 70, 80, 90, 100 million euros on a player that maybe we didn't even need. We might have been clever. We might have finally chosen the smart option. But hey guys, Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It's not just about me here. I want to know how you feel about Marcus Rashford. What are your honest opinions here about the way that he can fit the team, the way that he can work under Hansi Flick? What kind of role do you see him having in the squad? Let me know all of that down below. I can't wait to read your opinions on this, and I will see you soon, where we will be talking much, much more about Rashford and this whole Barca team ahead of this brand new season. I thank you indeed here, guys, for watching here today and for all of your great support. But until next time, as always, Vesca, El Barça.